Hello, everybody. Um, I've been thinking about a lot of things lately, and I actually recorded a podcast episode, which I'm probably gonna scrap and make a new one. And instead making it into this separate video and make it more of a separate talking video because I think it's important to mention because it's been in my head, and instead of just keeping it in my head, I think it's good if I just throw it out there in the video. And this is a bit different from what I usually do, but I just wanted to talk about it, and I've been feeling a little stuck, and I think it's important to have these kind of conversations and just throw it out there. And yeah, so if you're here for the VTuber related stuff, this might be interesting for you. Um, but if not, it's all okay, and you can just skip this video if this is not something you wanna, you know, hear about because it's gonna be a bit more serious. And I'm aware that this is only my second video on the channel, but it's been something I've been kind of thinking about for a while. And in this video, I'll be talking specifically about and explaining about my autism and creator burnout and just some other things that have been on my mind that I wanted to share with you guys. And maybe, who knows, maybe some of you have tips or relatable stories or something that you feel similar about that you would like to, you can relate to when you would like to hear me speak about. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Um, First off, I wanted to talk about how I've been kind of feeling burned out as of late making content, and I guess really losing the love. Like, don't get me wrong, I love making content, and I've always have, but it's still been feeling like it hasn't been the same as when I started making content. And I just wanted to, you know, talk about that a little bit. I When I initially started as a content creator, I was very awkward and shy and alone and in my own little corner of the internet being weird. Doing whatever, right? And the reason why I started streaming was because I found this cool new thing called VR, and I loved it. And specifically, what I loved about VR was the game VR Chat. And um, I didn't really think of anything of it, right? And if you don't know what VR Chat is, it's this virtual reality community game where you can talk to people and make some new friends here and there. It's really like a big social game that has definitely changed a lot over the years, which I won't be going into in this video, but it changed a lot and it made me not love it as much as I used to. Um, but one thing that I really loved about VR chat was the people around me and being accepted for being a weird, silly bean. And uh that was just something really special because I never really felt accepted like that before, if that makes sense. I've always been a little bit of an outcast, um and that was the first time where people you know really wanted to be with me and wanted to be close to me. And don't get me wrong, I've always had friends IRL as well, but none that really had the same interests as me and the same level of nerd as me. And that was really cool, and it felt like I had a place where I belonged, where it felt right. Um but over time, on VR chat and all that, my friends started to slowly fade away. And I wouldn't say there was a specific reason for this. I would say it was just something that was a result of time. Like back then, was 18 years old, and other people around me were the same age, and you go to college and you get busier, and you just don't hang out as much anymore, and you spread out. And my excitement for VR chat started to really kind of fade, you know. And I was streaming at the time, and I enjoyed streaming a lot with my friends, and it just started fading, and it was scary, right? Because you have this thing that's working really well, you have friends that you care about, and when friends go away, I already have a hard time making friends, right? So that was scary. Um, and at that point, I was like, okay, what do I do? Um, and for a while, I won't lie, I tried to like chase my friends and try to get them back because I didn't want to lose them, and you know, I spent a lot of time trying to fix things. It didn't happen, and it hurt. It hurt, and yeah. And at that point, I was like, okay, what do I do now? And the friends are gone. What can I do? It sucks. And at the time, the logical step was to become a VTuber because that was really on the rise, and I was already using digital avatars on VR chat and whatnot. And yeah, that's what happened. I was alone for a long time on Twitch, and sure, I've had friends that were still around, but it never really felt the same way as it did back then. And I'm sure some of my friends are like, "Oh my god, he's talking about this again." And I know, right? But that's just how much it meant to me and how important it was to me. But at this point, I've accepted that it's been 6 years since then, right? So there's a point where you accept like that's not going to happen again, and that's kind of faded out. Um, and yeah, I've just been kind of burned out, to be honest, as of late. I know I just made a new channel, but I'm just saying I just wanted to throw it out there, right? And as to why I think I'm burned out, I want to talk about that more in depth in a little bit. Um, and yeah, it almost kind of feels like the passion for it is kind of going away, and I don't want it to go away because that inner passion is still there, but I just feel like I'm not good enough in anything. And yeah, and some people may say, "Oh, just make new friends, just become closer in other communities," and I've already been kind of doing that a little bit here and there. Um, but something I specifically wanted to talk a little bit more about today, and it's kind of the more broader topic of this video, is being autistic as a VTuber. And if you're neurodivergent yourself, you'll probably understand how much that can impact stuff. And in the beginning, when I started streaming, and when I was living life, I never really did anything specific for my autism. I just tried to do as many things as possible, as normal, quote unquote, as possible. I went to normal schools. I tried to do everything as quote unquote normal as possible until college, when I really, walked into a wall, so to speak. I really needed to get extra help. Um, I won't go into details in this video, but if you want to know more about that stuff, feel free to let me know in the comments. Because I think this is could be a fun, well, not fun maybe, but it could be like a topic to talk about that could relate to some people. Um, but yeah, I wanted to really specifically focus on what it means to be autistic as a VTuber, and more specifically, my perspective. Okay, so I'm aware this is not, every person that is autistic is different, and I wanted to just talk about my troubles and my worries and what goes on in my own little head up here. Um, and really talk about that, right? So that's what I'll be doing. being online and interacting with others and doing all these social media things, making tweets, making videos, making streams, trying to network with people, trying to become a better creator and a better VTuber and friend, and trying to organize things and everything. Like you can already tell just me listing it out. It's a lot of things that comes with the territory, right? And it takes a lot out of you. And it doesn't. It's not just streaming, right? There's a lot of things. Like I have a full-time job now. I just graduated from college. Um, there's just all of these things that go on in my head, and it's all just a big mess sometimes. And whenever that happens, I start to uh spiral in my head. And I know some friends already know this, and I talk about this with friends, thankfully. Like, you know, um, but I start to worry, right? And I look at what my friends are doing, right? And I become jealous of what my friends are doing, right? And that's when that's when I know when that's going on, that's like a dangerous headspace. Here's some points that I worry about, right? Okay. First off, this is also always a thing that comes back, is that I don't think that I'm a good enough VTuber or content creator. Um, I don't think I'm expressive enough. And I don't know if this is something I can learn. You can probably tell by my voice. I repeat a monotone voice, right? Um, and yeah, I worry that like, because I know my friends, whenever someone comes in the chat, they're like, "Oh my god, hey, how are you doing? Welcome to this stream. How was your day? I hope you had a good day." And all these things with this happy voice and blah, 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 blah. And that's not how I am naturally. You know, I would maybe say like, "Hey, how you doing? You know, hope you had a good day." Stuff like that, without like the whole expressive, happy sounding things. And I don't know if that's because of the autism, but I've just always been kind of, down to down to earth, chill. Um, and like my energy isn't big enough, more attention grabbing to people, or what. And that's something I've been kind of, you know, stressed about. Another thing which I feel kind of guilty over, but I would still like to talk about and be open about, is that generally speaking, I try to organize a lot of things for people, right? I have this group, VTuber Checkpoint, and in general I try to sometimes step a bit more out of my comfort zone to get to people and uh put in an effort for um to do stuff together. But what happens, I notice, is that like if I don't do that, if I don't make the first step, then I don't get anything. And I'm not saying that this doesn't happen for everybody, but I definitely notice that some friendships feel very like, in a way, one-sided. And I'm sure I'm not completely, innocent in that regard either. Maybe it's the with, again, like I said earlier, with the way I express myself. Um, but I just struggle with that feeling of things being one-sided. Um, and yeah. So, you know, I just wanted to throw it out there. I'm just, you know, airing my worries at the moment, right? um, so that is another thing. And that there's a lot of things. So I have like a little list here. Um, things I want to talk about, but um, and there's this thing that I feel bad about. It's to the point where I feel jealous of other people. I compare myself to people. And we've actually talked about this a little bit in the Beardex podcast episode 2. If you want to go back and listen to that, and we talk about Onihime and Aika, and me talk about how we got started as a VTuber, and how uh jealousy in a sense can be a good thing because it encourages you to learn from people. But in my case, sometimes it also is a very bad thing because I start to think more negatively about myself, right? Um, and I see my friends growing their communities and getting their own recognition and making things happen. And, I'm very happy for them. I'm very proud of them. Um, and I'm very glad that they're doing well. But it makes me wonder, like, if I'm doing things wrong myself because I'm not really seeing that success as much, or um you know it's not just based on views or whatever, but whenever I see people like being so positive and being like, yes, I'm excited to stream, yes, um I have this cool event happening, or I have this cool thing going on, um it makes me really like question myself. And like some things I start to ask myself is like, um am I entertaining enough, am I bad at grabbing people's attention and being like, hey, I'm here too, hello. uh you know Care about me too, please. And really, am I good enough to be a VTuber or a content creator? And I know it's like most of these things are in my head, right? And I try really hard to not let these thoughts in, but they are there, right? They exist. And yeah, I just don't want this to be something that is will be stuck, you know. And I've had these things before, like this. Again, for people that know me, people know that I struggle with mental health. I've been in therapy multiple times. I've been in therapy for my autism a few times. I've had depression. I've had panic attacks. Um, and I have tools to deal with that now. Um, but these things, in relation to content, keep coming back a lot. And one term I see a lot is imposter syndrome. I would have to have an exact definition real quick. Hold on. Uh, I know it's the right word, but I need like a definition real quick. Uh, but it's pretty much the feeling of like feeling like you're not good enough, like you're not smart, like you're not good, like your achievements um it don't matter, things like that. And I think that's something I suffer from a lot. I in general in life I have like struggles with my confidence in things. um but yeah, um let me go back to my list real quick. So these are some things that I think about a lot. And for that reason, like, I've definitely gotten a lot better at it as of late, with like making friends like Aika, Onihime, Ayu, and a bunch of other people that I've become friends with more recently, that I'm very happy with and that I'm very glad to have around. And they listen to me too sometimes. But I struggle a lot with putting things into words, so it's hard to explain to them what I'm feeling. So that's also part of why, I'm making this video, to have it be done in a bit more of a structured way. Um, but apart from that, um, I still feel like detached or alone in the community sometimes. And I know people will probably be like, "But you have all these friends around you, and um, you know, people that care about you, and this and that and that. And I get it, right? And I do appreciate that people care about me, but I've always kind of struggled with feeling cared about. I'm trying to not be rude because, well, that's not the right word, but you know, I wish I could feel that more. But and I think that just also comes from my autism. But um, yeah, I don't know, you know, and I think it's also because I've been hurt a lot during my streaming journey. I've been backstabbed by people. I've been betrayed. I've been whatever, and it's just always kind of scary to fully trust people, you know, and yeah, it's just a hard thing to do for me, and it sucks, honestly. And I'm really trying hard to really believe in what people are saying and that they're true, but it's still also hard. Um, like Aika tells me all the time, I care about you. You know, we're gonna get through this together. I'm gonna help you. And Onuhime is always super nice and being like, don't worry, Rizu. Uh, I'll invite you to play games and stuff too. And you know, you're totally valid for feeling the way you're feeling, and I really appreciate that. But there's always this part inside of me that's like, you know, I don't know. And not like they're lying, but like I don't deserve their nice words and you know, love and all that. And yeah, like part of me is saying like I know I do, but another part of me is like, but what if not? You know? You're probably wondering I'm even making this video. Um Part of it is because I just wanted to share my feelings, but also because I'm sure there's a lot of other VTubers that feel this way in a certain degree. Maybe not everything exactly the way I'm feeling it, but you know, other neurodivergent people maybe that can relate to it, and to just kind of share and say that you know you're not alone. um and I guess it's also kind of a way to tell myself that I'm not alone, and that there's other people out there that also feel this way. And yeah, um and you may be wondering, okay, Rizu, you know that this is going on, and you know, um so what are you gonna do now? And to be honest, I don't really know. As of recording this, I'm currently taking a break from streaming this week. Um, and you know, I don't really have a big plan to fix everything, but I at least wanted to throw it out there and try to be kinder to myself. Um, because I have a lot of things going on in my life, and I think I'm really being too harsh on myself. You know, I just made a new YouTube channel. This is the second upload, and you might think, "What the hell, Rizu? What are you doing, man?" But you know, I just wanted to be honest with myself and with you guys. And yeah, I think um, I'm really going to try to give myself more permission to like slow down. um, I know a lot of people might be thinking, "But Rizu, you don't stream 5 days a week. What are you saying? Or you don't upload a video every day?" And that might be true, but there's also a lot of stuff that you guys don't see that I'm doing. There's a bunch of scrapped recordings that I didn't think were good enough. Or today, you know, I had a free day today on Monday, and I was trying to record something, right? I was trying to record a video because I wanted to play a game for the Rizu random Rizu game series, but I was having so many technical issues. I tried to fix it all day. I cleaned out my entire PC, and it just didn't work. And I just threw a day of trying to make content in the garbage pretty much. And you know, that also doesn't help with the excitement and passion for content creation. It sucks. It sucks, you know, but it's okay. It's okay that it sucks. And I need to give myself more breaks and cut myself some slack and be like, Rizu, it's fine. Yeah, you had a shit day. It's fine. You can have a shit day. you know? And yeah, it sucks. I was excited to record stuff today, but nothing worked and it sucks. Um and yeah, and in general, I really want to focus more on just making content that I'm excited for. Even I know it might not be the best. I'm still learning how to edit properly. And I might not be the most expressive. I might not be like, "Hey, Rizu here." you know, oh my god. I don't know. That's not who I am. I'm just a chill dude. I just like to play video games and talk and make videos and do whatever. And yeah, you know, that's what I wanted to do. And even right now, right, I still have doubts if I should even make this a video. But I need to be able to be like, no, I wanted to make this video. I wanted to talk about it. I was thinking about making a video. So here's the video. I made it. That's fine. Whatever. Cool. And I don't think it's bad to for you guys to see a bit more personality in things, right? Because I've just been uploading gaming videos recently, and in the podcast, sure, personality comes out a bit more, but not really just me. Not just, this, what's happening here. You don't see that very often unless you're watching the streams. So, yeah. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna give myself more of a break and cut myself some slack. I'm probably just gonna be playing some games this week with some friends on, not on stream, off stream, and we'll see how things will be at on the next weekend. Um, And just so you're aware, I'm not saying I don't enjoy content or making streams or what. I just think I haven't been doing as great of a job at it. Like, I don't think I've really been an entertainer. I don't think I've really been, that person you can go to at the end of a tough day and listen to and relax, or, whatever. And I really want to become that person again. I want to be, you know, like, I've had so back in the day, people always told me like, Rizu, I've had a really tough time lately, and I've helped people through that, and people told me that I've done that, and I just feel like I haven't really been doing that. I just haven't really been that, that relief for some people, and I really want to be that again. I want to be that guy that people can listen to or have a laugh with, and whatever. I just want to be someone that I can be proud of, but also that you guys can be proud of and enjoy. And that's really all that I want. And yeah, I'm just gonna be focusing on what makes me happy and what makes me joy. And I'll probably, I don't know, I'll probably talk to some people about some stuff behind the scenes, but um yeah, you know, uh I don't really know where to go from here. If you want to play some games with me sometimes, or if you want to invite me to a stream sometime, um feel free. I don't bite. I'm not scary. uh I want to make more friends, and I want to be closer to people despite me maybe not being as expressive about it. um and if you can relate to me on these points, I just wanted to say, I mean, in general, to everybody, thank you for listening. Like, I really appreciate it, and I do really appreciate the people that do still support me. Don't think that I don't see you. I know you're there. Um, but I haven't really been the best person content wise lately, and I'm hoping to change that. And if you're going through similar things, Maybe have a conversation with yourself. If things are going bad, don't be afraid to get help and talk to people. And I'm always a bit advocate for therapy. If that's something you need, please do get it. And you're enough. You're valid. You're completely okay as who you are. And no matter what troubles you, you're valid. You're okay. And I hope stuff gets better for both me and you out there. And yeah, I'll be leaving it here. Thank you for listening. Um, Let me know in the comments if you would like to see maybe more of these kind of talking videos, because I do have the podcast, of course, but I just like talking, and I feel a lot better already just having this out of my chest right now. So, um, yeah, uh, have a good rest of your week, and I hope to see you next time on this beautiful strawberry network. And I'll be standing by now. Bye bye.